Kyrie Irving was redefined and his intentions reinterpreted to control his freedom of expression and masculinity, which has always been the strategy to enslave and to control. What is it to question someone's faith? Isn't it a matter of theology requiring an apologetic response? What is it to question someone's faith? Is it anti-Semitic? Probably when questioning a certain belief or faith, as faith and beliefs are questioned and attacked every day. But isn't this the modus operandi? I am Ronaldo McKenzie. Welcome to another episode of the Neoliberal Round podcast. And with me is...
Dante Nelson.
And Dante, do you know what the topic is for today?
The
topic we will be discussing today is, what is it to question someone's faith? Is it anti-Semitic or a matter for theology requiring apologetics? What is it to question someone's faith? Is it anti-Semitic or a matter for theology requiring apologetics? Do you know what apologetics is?
Yes, well, I would think...
I talk about that in the episode today, and also explore a little bit about theology, but of course it concerns Kyrie Irving. This is the Neoliberal Round podcast. Welcome, and please do listen to the entire episode. It promises to be very insightful. But let me finish. Let me finish.
What?
Let me stop. No, I said, but listen to the question. I said, what is it to question? What is it? What is it to question someone's faith or belief? Is it anti-Semitic? Probably when questioning a certain belief or faith, as faiths and beliefs are questioned and attacked every day. But isn't this the modus operandi? Isn't it how we human beings operate and have always operated and behaved as logical, critical thinkers? Did we not go back and question whether or not the earth was round? Did we not question whether or not everything revolved around the earth? The earth was the center of the universe. Did we not do that at one time? And what did we do with some of these people? We burned them to the stake. Some of them had to offer apology. Just as how he's have to apology. He just offered an apology like late last night.
Yes, he did.
Apologizing. But for what? Now, this is important. Stephen A. Smith said in a clip that we're about to play. In fact, I should play the clip. But he said on this clip that we're about to play, on his show, ESPN First Take, that Kyrie doesn't have the right or shouldn't question someone's faith or belief. But why is that so? Why is that so? When did we come to a point to not want to question another's faith when this is done every day between and among faiths? Let's listen to the tape. Let's listen to Stephen A. Smith real quickly.
That means the original Jewish individual is black. There's a lot of people who believe that the original man is black. They don't have to be Israelites. They can be Christians. I know a whole bunch of Christians. You're looking at that person. I believe Adam and Eve were black. Okay, I ain't apologizing for that. That doesn't mean I turn around and insult someone else's religion. They question someone else's belief. Because it's their faith. Just like it's my faith. Just like it's his faith. He confuses faith with knowledge and believes that everybody else is lacking and seems to have this insatiable appetite to show you how you lack in knowledge compared to him.
No, that makes no sense, Stephen A. Smith. Usually, that makes no sense. What is wrong? People insult people every day. That's society. What people need to have is backbone and self-efficacy. We have become too soft. We've become too soft in this society. First of all, people can question people's faith. I used to teach a course called Apologetics. Apologetics is the use of logic to defend the faith. And you have Christian apologetics, Hindu apologetics, Jewish apologetics. This is a matter of apologetics and polemics. This is a matter of theology. And people do that every day in debates and in finding truth. The problem is people can question other people's faith. They can question Tom Cruise's faith. People laughed at the Church of Scientology and how people give all their money to that church and talk about Tom Cruise as being an idiot or crazy or eccentric and weird for following a faith such as that. In fact, people talk about the issue of cults. When we talk about cults, what are cults? Cults are different from occults. Cults are those groups that claim to be Christian, but deviate from the essential tenets of the Orthodox Christian faith. That's what a cult is. And say, for example, some Orthodox Christians would call the Jehovah's Witness a cult. And of course, Jehovah's Witnesses would object to that and call that insulting. But they are not asking for an apology because that's understood. Okay? Now, it is like if we're saying that Kyrie Irving can only speak about basketball, but he cannot have a mind that first of all, nothing is wrong with questioning somebody else's faith and question. What is wrong with that? I don't understand. Something is wrong with that. You can question the Muslim faith, but you can't question the Christian faith. You can question African faith and tradition, but you can't question the Jewish faith. That's anti-Semitic. We're becoming so hypersensitive, some of these groups. What we have done, we have created a system, where people cannot, that limits freedom of expression and speech. And we are going after the man because, society hates him. Society hates him, he struggles. But I believe that this is absolutely ridiculous. That was earlier, actually, while I was responding to Stephen A. Smith's comment. But let me repeat this. Let me repeat this and make this point again from the clip that I had just played. It said that Stephen A. Smith said in this clip on this show ESPN First Take that Kyrie doesn't have the right or shouldn't question someone's faith or belief. But why is that so? When did we come to a point to not want to question another's faith when this is done every day between and among faiths? The Orthodox Christian faith call the Jehovah's Witnesses cults, meaning, again, and I'm repeating myself here, but I want you to understand this. They call the Jehovah's Witnesses cults, meaning they are a group claiming to be Christians but deny the essential tenets of the faith. And what am I talking about when they deny the essential tenets of the faith? If you study, and just so you know, for those of us who know, I am an ordained minister, and I was a Presbyterian minister, and I studied theology. My first passion was theology, and for years I studied theology, and I grew up in the church. So, and I studied world religion, and I taught theology. And this one particular issue, you will learn this, and this is very important as I bring this point up about Christianity, because there is Christianity, and then there is Christianity. You have those who are considered to be the Orthodox Christian faith, those who subscribe to the teaching of Jesus Christ as being Lord and Savior. And even within the Christian faith, there are denominations, those who are Protestants, those who are Trinitarians, those who are Pentecostal, those who don't believe in the Trinity of the Godhead, but they're still considered part of the Orthodox Christian faith, not as cults. And of course there is the occult, which is more on the dark side of cult, which is the extreme side of the cult. But that is according to Christian theology. But Orthodox Christian theology, where they have categorized Christianity within the Orthodox faith, and of course there is Catholicism, and then there is Protestantism, and even within the Protestant church they have the Presbyterians, the Baptists, so on and so forth. So within the Orthodox Christian faith, the Orthodox Christian faith called the Jehovah's Witnesses cults, meaning a group claiming to be Christians but deny the essential tenets of the Christian faith. Moreover, I had said earlier that Tom Cruise was seen as weird for joining the Church of Scientology, and many castigated and lambasted, and even beyond that, many castigated and lambasted the Muslim faith as terrorists. And so some people go as far as to and even after 9/11 they tried to blow up some of there was a lot of attack against Muslims and so on and so forth. So, but the point out here is that this questioning faith is a normal part of the exchanges that occur to arrive at truth. By the way, earlier Stephen A. Smith said that he believes that God, Adam and Eve was black. I couldn't care less whether Adam or Eve was black. That does not affect the price of pork. But I don't eat red meat, so let's say chicken. Okay. That is neither here nor there. The fact that, listen, I have said, what is the ultimate of all things? The ultimate of all things is that we become one with reality, with all of our individuality. That doesn't mean that we're not going to have lively debates. That doesn't mean that you're not going to challenge me. But I should not privilege what I am against is privilege and position. Privileging one and proselytizing, yes, and forcing your way over another way, and practicing ethnocentrism and believing that your way is better than the other way. Although right now I am making a point as if my argument is better than another argument, but it's an argument. You don't have to buy that argument, and of course, people shouldn't have to apologize for things that they feel strongly about. But if they create hurt, that's a different matter. And I believe in sisterhood and brotherhood. I don't believe that we should hurt people, but I'm telling you, people aren't responsible for other people's feelings. People have different positions and build up certain walls in their lives. And and Descartes talks about cogito ergo sum. The only reality and truth that we are aware of is our own reality. I'll have to add. So the questioning faith is a normal part of the exchanges that occur to arrive at truth. Or personal faith, and theologians defend their faith through what is known as apologetics. Apologetics, again, is the use of logic to defend the faith. The apologists who must offer the apologist is who must offer a credible response to Kyrie, not demanding apology, but engaging in apologetics. However, we have become so sensitive and hypocritical or pharisaical. Kyrie can only speak basketball as if he's livestock, but he cannot challenge and critique history. Only the privileged must do so. We therefore stifle and attack his freedoms of expression and speech, forcing an apology for what the ADL said caused hurt. But as I said, we are told in psychology that people are not responsible. People are not responsible for others' feelings because people are different and respond to stimuli differently, and therefore, as a way to mitigate conflict, we use what is known as iMessages so as to not blame based on this fact. Yet, the NBA and the media and others are forcing an apology that blames Kyrie for causing grief as if he has that power to do so, and requiring him to do what others are not asked to do, which then appears to be a matter of pharisaicalism. However, as good people who promote life and peace, we should seek to facilitate brotherhood and sisterhood. Nevertheless, we should not deny somebody's critical thinking and freedom of expression by redefining their expression as foreign and anti-anything to control their masculinity and individuality, which others are freely able to flaunt. The issue of questioning the Jews' origin and experience, so long as it is not full of hate, is a matter of theology requiring an apologetic response. The issue of questioning the Jews' origin and experience, so long as it is not full of hate, is a matter of theology requiring an apologetic response. But I say to you, what they have done is that they have the same thing they did with slaves, they continue to do. They redefine slaves as having a different identity, as being not human beings, in order for them to justify enslaving a whole race of people. So what they're doing, they're redefining Kyrie Irving's expression and reinterpreting his position as anti-Semitic in order to control him. And that they have done because they were able to pull an apology out of him. This is the Neoliberal Round Podcast. We'll be right back after this.
I take my responsibility for posting that. Some things that were questionable in there, untrue. Like I said, in the first time you guys asked me when I was sitting on that stage, I don't believe everything that everybody posts. It's a documentary. So, I take my responsibility.
It seems like Adam sort of wanted to hear the word "I apologize," or in your mind, you said I didn't mean to cause any harm. Were you apologizing, or did you not apologize?
I didn't mean to cause any harm. I'm not the one that made the documentary.
What are the specific things in the documentary that you don't believe are true and that you don't believe represent your cause?
I think some of the criticism of the Jewish faith in the community, for sure. Some points made in there that were unfortunate.
Kyrie, are you surprised that you did hurt people?
Surprised that I did hurt people?
Are you surprised that reaction, some of the things that you did, hurt people?
Yeah, I think I can ask a better question. It's just, where were you when I was a kid, figuring out that 300 million of my ancestors are buried in America?
That was Kyrie Irving. what is it to question someone's faith? I mean, does it make you anti-Semitic?
Yeah. Well, in a sense, like, it's all.
I mean, Stephen A. Smith does not know what he's talking about. He said you cannot go around. You can't go around questioning people. Of course, people go around questioning people's faith. People go around questioning people's race and whether or not they were born in America. Okay, people go around doing that, and it's not a big deal. They don't have to apologize for that. But, okay, people go around saying that black people are less than human beings and treat them and continue to treat them, whether through de facto factors or de jure factors, as less than human beings.
Well, I have to say that. I didn't. Yeah.
It is a systemic. You study household values. I mean household worth, the value of real estate value in terms of by race. When an appraiser, who 90% of appraisers are Caucasian, and I was part of some research group of professionals and academics. We were looking at surveyors and appraisers and the discrimination and the racial makeup and what goes on there and how it's about 90% or over 90% of the appraisers are Caucasian, and when they go to appraise certain houses, it is appraised based on race. Okay. But even to today, and you find that in systems how this continues. But the fact of the matter is, and even within faith, I said earlier, I say to you, it is not a matter of being Semitic or anti-Semitic. It has nothing to do with that. It is a matter of apologetics. Okay? Here is a young man that is questioning the Jewish faith and the Jewish people. Now, the Jewish people, how do they respond? By calling him, he's an anti-Semitic, he's a Jewish hater. Because he questioned their faith? Because he's being a critical thinker? No, he can't do that. Other people, maybe other academics can, but no, he's a basketball star. He should stick to that. Because he questioned someone else's faith. What is wrong with that? Denominations do that every day. They have debates. The Rastafarians, the people question Protestants are and question and challenge and castigate and lambast Catholics, and the Catholics do the same of Protestants, and of course, and the evangelicals and the charismatics. They go around lambasting each other. Okay, and insulting one another, but they don't apologize because it is it's a competition in one sense.
He said he's 30 years old, right? He said when he got to that age, he never knew that reading would be so important.
That's what I'm talking about. Yes, and I agree with him. I agree with him. I agree with him.
His response,
it's quite laughable. But let me make this point.
The individual got offended, and
it's getting
big.
I said in a podcast yesterday, there are some people who believe that whatever somebody believes is racist is racist, but they believe it's anti-Semitic. It's just as though that new law that just came out, banning critical race theory in school in Florida. Banning things. So if people, anything that you teach and you feel as though, and you feel hurt about it, then you shouldn't teach it in the classroom. Because Florida passed a ban teaching any teaching critical race theory, teaching any kind of history that make children of the past of their ancestors feel hurt about the past or something of the sort. But it's quite interesting what's going on. It is as if I tell you, it is an issue of Pharisaicalism. It is an issue of power. It's an issue of privilege, because some people get to do some things, but others can't. I mean, a basketball star cannot have an academic and a critical mind to be able, okay, to make a statement that challenges someone's belief without it being seen as anti-Semitic. Okay? Even, I mean, there are people who believe that the Holocaust didn't happen. That's a historical fact that the Holocaust did happen. Now, how it happened and so on, and there are people who are questioning that fact, as though people went back and questioned whether or not the earth was round, or whether or not it's flat, or whether or not people do that all the time. But the fact of the matter is, some people can't do that, and there are some people you can't do that around. Like, say, for example, some people are very hypersensitive. People are still dealing with issues of the past. So for some people, it creates hurt, because you are. So in a sense, that those, now, if you say that he's being insensitive, that's one sense. If you say that with his challenge of the faith, that is one thing. I can understand that if you say that he's being insensitive. But if you say he's been anti-Semitic, then that's ridiculous. That makes no sense. Okay. And okay, because, and I say that's an issue that's an apologetic issue. Apologetics.
Well, I was saying that he wasn't woke by by responding like the way he did.
I believe
by responding the way he did, and then he just threw everything.
He responded. He only had that
on him, like it was just. It's something negative.
He only had that press conference because he wanted to appease, okay, his detractors, and to probably maybe try and stop the bleeding. And I don't think he cares about the bleeding. People, earlier, Stephen A. Smith talked about he's losing all that money and whatever, and how he's dumb. He's not, Stephen A. Smith is looking to be the fool here, because he is not thinking about money. He's already made the money and so on and so forth. He is doing something else. For him, the impact that he is making is not just about making money. Okay, he is now on the world stage, so now he can make a difference. If it's about money, then he cannot make the kind of impact that I'm telling you, if you make your life and your career about money, and we all need money to survive, but if you make it about money, then you can't do the things you do. I have an independent show. I have an independent book. I have an independent company. Okay, and I'm able to do and say the things that I can say. Okay, because no one paid me. Okay, I pay myself. No one pays me. I pay myself. When you are able to do that, then you and the thing is, and that's the problem. That's the issue. But the thing is, he's able to do what he has found a level of independence, that has always dogged certain people, his people, black and brown people in the world. And they are okay. And the thing is, we live in, and this is very important. It is a do as I say, but not as I do. Some people get to do and say things, but others can't. And when they say it, it is viewed in a different light. What he's doing, they say, oh, that is anti-Semitic. If other person had done it, probably something else. And the Jews are saying that they feel hurt. Just so you know, people, if you study psychology, they talk about using iMessages. iMessages. What are iMessages? iMessages is a strategy in communication that help to evade and minimize conflict and communication. It is a recognition that people aren't responsible. Other people are responsible for how you feel. You are responsible for how you feel. Okay? But there are other things there are external stimuli that creates a trigger based on how you view and see things. Okay, so people aren't necessarily responsible for you and how you feel. That is what we learn in psychology. That's what they teach you in iMessages. Okay, so if people feel hurt by what he has done, it is because of the wars and how they are viewing things. Okay, and how they are putting it. So I mean, it's a two-way street. But people have become so hypersensitive and become not into their feelings that they're not looking at things macroscopically, looking at things how people have always talked about things. We've forgotten about those. This is the Neoliberal Round Podcast. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Neoliberal Round Podcast. Continue to support us at https://anchor.fm/the neoliberal/support, and subscribe to the show on any stream. We are now available on the Audible, of course, in addition to Amazon Music, Radio Public, Spotify, Anchor.fm, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, so on and so forth. And please visit us at www.theneoliberal.com for more about the Neoliberal Corporation, our solutions, access to the books, and other resources and material. I'm Ronaldo McKenzie. And again, it was a pleasure to have you for the show. Send us a feedback. This show was produced by Ronaldo McKenzie and, of course,
Dante
Nelson. And the Neoliberal Corporation is serving the world today to solve tomorrow's challenges as we make popular what was the monopoly. Walk good.